All right, everybody, welcome back to the OffBeat Sports Podcast, presented by Super Bowl champion Kyle Arrington, former defensive back for the New England Patriots. So thanks so much for coming on, man. We're really excited to talk with you.
Appreciate you guys having me.
So when you started your career, you went undrafted, and that's can be a difficult process for players. What did the process do for you as a player, and how did it help you with the rest of your career as you started to see the field?
Oh man, yeah. So as a undrafted free agent coming out of Hofstra, good old days, Long Island. Shout out Hofstra, Long Island. No, it was tough. Like I said, undrafted free agent player out of Hofstra, in which we don't even have a program anymore. So it was it was a chip, already off the bat, being placed on the shoulder. I've always been one driven by a challenge. And I kind of take everything personal, not personal in not personal in a personal way, but personal as in a challenge. I don't care, if it was like Uno, whatever the case is. If I'm getting beat at Uno, like, yeah, okay, I'm getting mad. I'm getting, I'm taking it as a challenge at this point. So like I said, same case in this regard. So I came in undrafted, went to Philly, didn't really quite work out. Come training camp into the preseason. Like I said, as an undrafted free agent, you gotta consistently stay on coach's radar every day after practice, every game, every rep, they constantly evaluate each and everything you do. Then the same kind of thing happened going to Tampa the following season. That season into the following training camp and exhibition. So, but it was able to take it one step and actually make the opening day roster. But as when you're like that 45th guy to actually dress, and someone gets hurt, and in which it was a situation where someone got hurt but not hurt enough to go on IR. So they had to bring someone in and make move on the roster. So somebody had to go, and so at that point in my career, two opportunities and two bites at the apple. It's like, okay, you had all you asked for was opportunity, and you had that. And so when New England called, my agent, New England called my agent, I'm thinking to myself, like New England, you can't, didn't necessarily work out in Philly, and the same thing in Tampa. So I'm thinking to myself, well, New England is such a, obviously the accomplishments, accolades, the prestigious organization it is. So I'm kind of going to that point with just thinking to myself, no regrets, let it all fly, let it all hang. And so I went in there, a few other DBs did great with the workout. Subsequently ended up on the practice squad for about half the season. And once I finally got that opportunity, once it was Miami, like maybe the 9th game of the season, home game, Miami, special teams opportunity, but went in there and ended up, leading the team that game in special teams tackles. And then, like I said, subsequently ended up leading the team in special teams tackles that year, and only, appearing in 7 games. So like I said, I really had to refocus my mindset. And like I said, just not playing afraid to mess up, because when you go out there and you play like that, 9 times out of 10, that you put that in your focal point is, okay, this is what I don't want to do, as opposed to this is what I am going to do. So I think that was that was it. Once I kind of changed my approach in that regard. So, and I think it was it's history from there.
So what would you say your experience as a Patriot was like? How did you enjoy your time in New England as even off the field and on the field?
It was great. Being I'll tell you guys, where the stadium is in Foxborough was, I think, was by design with Bill. He strategically put it there. There's not a whole bunch to do, which makes it that much. I think for me, at least, that experience that much better, because it allowed you to really have a close knit community feel, not just with your teammates, but with the, like I said, with the community at large. And so, I, very, very much enjoyed my time in New England. Like I said, had both my first two of my three kids were born in New England. Purchased our first house in New England. So New England will always be home.
So there's been some like comments in the media about New England, between Rex Ryan saying people didn't want to play for Belichick.
When hasn't there been?
Yeah, between Rex Ryan coming out, first of all, who wanted to play for Rex Ryan, but people coming out, or Rex Ryan saying nobody wanted to play for Belichick, they wanted to play with Brady. Amendola saying it was tough for him to negotiate his contract 3 years in a row by himself and take pay cuts to put rings on Belichick's finger. He kind of said that kind of wore him the wrong way. But would you say this stood true for your experience in New England, or were you just kind of, did you have a different experience from what they're saying?
It's just the mantra, right, is do your job. And I think Bill was just he's the the leader. Everything, Mr. Kraft, Bill, everything, SHIT rolls downhill. That's the expression. Excuse my French, those who are able to spell. So but yeah, and I think just staying true to that. Bill, as a coach, you just want, you demand, you want to demand the most out of your players. You want to demand as much as you can to get the most, I should say, out of your players. And that's Bill. So I mean, with the resume like his, like I say, the proof is in the pudding.
So you won the Super Bowl versus the Seahawks when that infamous Malcolm Butler interception occurred.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your first reaction like when you were watching that play happen? What was your reaction to seeing that interception and you were just like, oh, we're gonna win this thing?
Yeah, well, one, it was somebody please bail me out because I didn't have a great game at all whatsoever. But hey, that's why it's a team sport, right? When Malcolm made that play on the 1 yard line, that was just an incredible play. That just one of the all-time greatest plays, not in just Super Bowl history, but just in the league history in general. So when that happened, it was just historic, especially for us to win in that fashion. That was just such a great game. And all the credit in the world to Malcolm, being the kind of player he was, undrafted, free agent himself. I want to say like maybe a second year player, whatever the case may have been. But just like I say, a young guy in that position, and to step up the way he did in that kind of game, and then be able to and look and see what he's been able to do with the rest of his career up to this point, man. It's just been nothing short of nothing short of amazing.
I have a question about that play specifically. So not to like bring up like dirt on anyone, but Patricia came out and basically took credit for the entire play when he was in Detroit, Matt Patricia. And I kind of just want your take on it, because they talked about how they practiced that play like before, like they knew that play was coming. Like people have said that. And I think Patricia has even talked about how he just prepared for it. Like, is that the truth of it? Or do you think it was more of like Malcolm being like just receptive to what was going on?
Honestly, I think it's always a combination of, we talk about complementary football, right, in New England. So that's just not when you go out there, offense, defense, special teams all have to, marry together and play a well-executed game. That's, the entire, week of practice leading up. The coaches doing their jobs, players doing their jobs on the field, off the field, getting their bodies right. Coaches putting players in the best positions to execute. And so I think it was just a great combination of the coaches getting us prepared, players going out there and executing, and that's what team sports really is about. It's not really about one single individual. Players, coaches, like I said, they their job is to put us in the best possible position to be successful, and the player's job is ultimately go out there and execute. So I think that was just the product of what you saw in that regard.
So I want to get more into some of the stuff you've done post career, because I actually think it's really impressive. So I read more about like what you've been doing since you retired, and you've worked with, or you started or worked with something called Evolve, and I thought it was really interesting, like the impact that it's had, and you've been going to communities and trying to make an impact. And I kind of just wanted to let you talk about it, but I also wanted to hear what it's about because I think it's a really good thing that you're doing.
Yeah, no. So something my wife and I we founded the organization Evolve. So it's a abbreviation or acronym for empowering value of life via enlightenment. So no, it's very very been like purpose driven work, fulfilling work, being able to kind of transcend what I've done on the football field into into the community. There's one thing that we talked about all the time in New England was just being not only just being a pillar on the field, but a pillar in your community. And and like just as a father, parent of three, I just really changes your perspective. So our me and my wife, we just go to bed thinking ourselves like how can we leave this world a better place that we found it, and the times that we're living in now is that way. I can't. But I don't know. Maybe social media, plays a part in it, just because you get information at a snap of a finger, at an instance. So, but it just doesn't. I just can't remember the last time we felt so just divided, tribal. I mean, you name it. So, and everything really starts with the foundation. So as far as the next generation, in which our organization is very kid centric as far as youth empowerment. Just want to give them opportunities, create opportunities, experiences, and environments that will, like, so ultimately help them become the best versions of themselves. So we recently just did a high school weight room renovation project in which we will unveil April 9th. So we're excited about that. We're doing a youth literacy advocacy initiative right now. And to kind of piggyback off of that, I actually have this guy with me right here. You can see this guy.
Yeah, that's actually our next question.
Who's that written by? Yeah.
That's my next question.
Some guy wrote that.
That's my next question. So I'll let you finish, and then I'll let you have your moment.
Yeah, no, so like I said, just ultimately, man, just trying to pay it forward. I had a huge support system to ultimately, I went the route that I did, but I didn't have an excuse not to be successful just because I had a huge support system behind me. And I'd be naive to think, every child has that same kind of situation, so we just want to we talk about being, in a village, it takes a village to raise a child. So we talk about, being that village, and that's what it's, I think, really about for us.
So tell me about the book.
Yeah. So you see how you like how I work that in there. No, like I said, so we're on this huge youth literacy advocacy initiative right now with the foundation, and I finally got an opportunity, with the pandemic, as hopefully we're fingers crossed, we're kind of light is at the end of the tunnel, with this thing, and as
hopefully
just turning your life upside down, and just unprecedented, and just crazy it's been over the course of the past years and change now. One thing I was able to do was finally, I guess, put this bachelor's degree to good use. So I was a communications major, and mass media in general. Mass media to be specific. So I was one thing about when I was in school, I said, you know what, man, I did I declared a business major in my second semester freshman year. I took economics. I said, you know what, I think I would rather write a paper than do math at this point. So I switched it as coming into my first semester sophomore year, and then now, like I said, just being able to kind of put those writing skills back to decent use. So I actually wrote 2 projects over the course of the pandemic, and this is the first one that we're going to put out. Is a children's book. And so it's called Piece It Together, and it's just an overall message about teamwork, togetherness, innovation, problem solving, and critical thinking. So I said, and above all else, if it can help a kid, like I said, pick the book up, read it, get lost, enjoy it. Get lost in it. That'd be great. Just because, as much as digitally aged society we're moving towards, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but I think balance is still it's still a good thing. So it's always still good to be able to kind of pick up a book.
That's awesome, man. It's good to see like players like using their platforms post career to really try and make an impact. And you very clearly have done that with Evolve and now this book that you just put out. And I just want to say good for you. That's awesome.
I want to know. I want you to tell me where I can get it. I have a brother who's 6. I have 3 younger siblings who are all kids, and maybe I'll get it for them.
Yeah,
Where do I get it?
It is up for pre-release right now, so you can go to my website. Is www.arr24.com, where you can purchase a pre-release copy. The book will come out for wide release in May.
Awesome.
Right. I want to just piggyback off what Cross said real quick about the whole like impact after, with everything that's going on in the media and everything, like the way you were talking about and how everyone's so divided. I think it's really cool what you're doing in the communities and all that stuff and how it's bringing people together. I think it's really important. So I have a lot of respect for what you're doing, more even post career than I think, even though you won a Super Bowl and stuff. I think what you're doing in the modern time of everything that's going on, I have a lot of respect for it. So
well, and that's what our podcast was based on. So we started this in the beginning. We were just talking sports, but then we got Chris Hogan on. We were like,
great competitor.
Yeah, because we just graduated high school last year in the middle of the pandemic, so we were like we could really make this into something to help like our classmates and like everyone that's having a tough time, so they can listen to us talk sports, but also listen to professional athletes talk about their high school experiences and how they like have them give advice to like the students and even just the regular people going through this. So that it's like it's good to see like people that just trying to make a difference in like, I know like we have minimal listenership compared to your platform, but I think it's just everything helps, and that's awesome.
No, it's like one thing I said, always forward, so you just keep doing what you guys are doing, man. You'll grow. Like one thing I always say, man, the train's gonna keep moving. So you get on now or you get on later. You get on later, it might cost you, the ticket might be a little more though.
So now I just kind of wanted to like go into like talk about the current Patriots like just status right now. So they re-signed Cam, they signed all these guys, Hunter Henry, Judon, Jonnu Smith, that Gaucho guy, Jalen Mills, and they re-signed a bunch of guys. I was wondering, have you been following any of that? I'm assuming you saw that Bill Belichick spending spree.
Yeah, no, they've been very aggressive, to say the least. And so I actually played with Judon. I think he's a rookie, maybe. I think he might have been a rookie or a second-year player in Baltimore. Just a great guy, high motor guy, high character guy. He's such a clown. Just a great locker room guy. So and I think he'll make a tremendous addition to that pass rush. No, and I'm excited to see what they do this year, and Bill, being around him for 6-7 years, you can tell he's one of those guys where he takes a lot of stuff personal too, So no, Bill, no, he doesn't. He's not a huge fan of losing, and Tom, Tom built the same way. So no, very competitive individuals, and I think that's what made the marriage so great over the course of 2 decades, right? But at a certain point, all good things must come to an end. And so, obviously, Brady, this is decision he made, take his talents to not necessarily the South Beach, but Florida. So,
were you surprised by that? Were you surprised to see Brady leave, or did you have like just feeling from knowing him that he'd eventually leave New England and play somewhere else?
Well, if you read the tea leaves, so I think everybody's kind of familiar with at least in the New England areas, the whole, I guess, Garoppolo and Brady and even Mr. Kraft kind of drama unfold a little bit, and maybe that rubbed. I think maybe that rubbed Tom enough of the the wrong way, and that was maybe that was, I don't know, that played a part in that decision. I mean, who knows? I mean, at the end of the day, Tom is going to, he's always going to do what's best, for him and for himself and his family. And then Bill's, he's always going to do the best with what he feels is for the team. So and then at the end of the day, it's sports, right? So it's part of the business.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're running with Cam, and we got Stidham, and theories are we're going to draft someone. So if you had to pick just from following, who do you think's going to be starting at QB week 1? Do you think it's going to be Cam, Stidham, or a draft guy?
Man, don't get me into making this is why I don't bet. This is exactly why I know
Right.
this is exactly why when we go on vacation, my wife, she does all the gambling. I don't,
You don't have any feeling?
I'm gonna just throw Cam out there. I'm just throw Cam out there. Man. I guess that's my bias. That's my biased opinion, just because I want. Everybody loves a great comeback story, right? So I would love to see Cam come back next year and then just really play up to to the level that what I mean. He knows, we all know that he could play. With New England, getting him some more weapons. Especially I guess at the wide receiver. They definitely did a great job at the tight end position. Maybe get him some more weapons at the wide receiver position. I think I think there'd be a force to be reckoned with, a force to be reckoned with again.
So I have a question. Just, you were talking about Judon, because I know when you had time in Baltimore and you talked about when he was there and everything. So the question is really just, if there was a player you had to pick out of all the stuff that's happened this offseason that you would feel would have the biggest impact on the team this year, just like it could be any of the acquisitions, it could be bringing one of the guys back, or anything like that, who would you pick that you think is going to have the biggest visible impact or even locker room impact based off of just what you know about?
Just I guess, as we just forementioned, I think at least at this point it'd be Judon. He is just a tremendous athlete at that position. Has a rare combination of power, speed, size, athleticism. So yeah, and then I think with the pass rush, as a cornerback, no defensive player, if you have a pretty formidable pass rush, I mean, it just makes the job that easier on the back end. And I really like New England's secondary. If they I don't know, who knows what's going to happen with Gilmore if he can come back fully healthy. I really like J.C. Jackson. He's just young, scrappy, fearless corner. And obviously my guy McCourty. I saw Chung just recently retired. But no, man, like I said, I still really like New England defensively. And if you add to that pass rush, that's gonna make a big difference.
Well, I don't think we're gonna. Oh, we missed Chung because he was a great Patriot and a great player. But I think Jalen Mills, that was a really good underrated pickup just in general, because he's a defensive back, but he actually excels at the safety position. And with Chung retiring, I know we still have Duggar, who we drafted last year, but I think Jalen Mills, that signing is going to be huge, because I think he'll help to fill that role that Chung left.
Yeah, he's interchangeable as well. So that the more you can do, right? So he could play corner, he could play slot, he could play safety. So yeah, I think they'll find he'll find a good niche, and they'll probably move him around in different positions. And I mean, he's one of those guys that could excel at multiple positions. So I think, like, to your point, that was a very, very underrated pickup.
I have a question based on just Kyle Duggar. So he came from a small school, wasn't D1. You came from a small school at the time, who the program doesn't even exist anymore. So seeing a guy like him come out of a small school so early in the draft, does it make you feel better about guys that don't get to go to the biggest schools and stuff like that, like their opportunity to still get noticed by the GMs in the league and stuff like that and have the opportunity to play? Like, how do you think that's evolved over the few years since you came into the league? Because I think it's a lot more evident now that even guys at smaller schools, if they have the talent, they'll be seen. But I don't feel like that was as much evident back when you were coming in.
Yeah, no. That's a great point. Back then the old saying was, if you're good enough, they'll see you. They'll recognize your talent. You're good enough. You may and that was the case, I would say, to an extent. But now with the rise and the evolution of social media and all these platforms, and individually, guys can have their own brand now in middle school, right? Maybe even younger, like as soon as they get a phone in their hand. And I think the case in point, what's my guy's name for the Cleveland Browns, who got a great opportunity. I think I want to say he camped outside of their stadium for a few days, if not weeks.
The guy.
No, it was I know who you're talking about. He made their practice. Yeah.
Yeah, made a practice. And then,
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Ended up on the active roster, scored a touchdown during the season and everything. Yeah. And then I want to say, he was one of those guys where he put his whole workout on YouTube or social media, whatever the case was. So I think, like I said, with the evolution of social media, man, and giving athletes the platform to, like I said, to be able to advertise themselves, and their brands has really made all the difference in the world, and hasn't really made a tremendous impact on the recruitment, exposure, like the whole process.
Yeah, it's his name was Damon Sheehy Giuseppe, and now he's playing in that fan controlled football league. He played in that league this past season. You make a good point. Like, social media does have a big impact on just being able to build up a personal, even like draft stock, or just brand to try and get teams to notice you.
Exactly.
So that's all we got. So it just wraps up tonight's episode. Thank you to Kyle Arrington for joining us and taking this time to do the interview with us. Go get his book. Thanks everyone for listening. Go get his book, Piece It Together. You can pre-order it on his website. And it comes out in May, right?
Yes, comes out in May. And once again, that is at www.arr24.com.
Can't wait.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
So I appreciate you guys. You guys have a good night.
You too.